When you look at the crowds today, you have maybe 5,000–6,000 people here. On the streets yesterday, 1 million people, 1 million Iranians in the street for the Ayatollah Khomeini. Does that not give you concern? Does that not make you afraid?
Because they are afraid, yeah, that's right. And most of the people don't say anything because they are afraid. And they are in silence, you know, they don't say anything.
Is this the silent majority of Iran out here now?
Yes, that's right.
Do you want the Shah to return?
Yes, Shah, return to the country.
What about you, Shah? Why do you want the Shah? Why does she want the Shah?
ما شاه میخوایم ما بیچاره این شادستان کشتنش حلاله کجای قرآن گفته
47 years we've been bleeding in the dark, under the shadow of the Islamic regime, with a stone-cold heart. They silenced our voices, they turned off our light. 58 days without internet, but we still fought the night. Our children took the streets, they raised their empty hands, and the world looked away. Do you understand? Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? that's all it took. Mothers and fathers and sons, did you even look? We stand with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, our hope and voice. Millions behind him marching, he is our only choice. He only fights for freedom, democracy and human rights. But you mock him in your chambers while he fights for our lives. To pull us out of this darkness, this century-long night, while you sign deals with our killers and call it diplomatic right. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? They hang 60-40 souls one by one, hanged within 4 months by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? Do you feel anything at all? Or did something break inside you while Iran answered the call? Do you know Europe? What happened to you, Europe? What made you so cold? What turned your heart to stone while our story went untold? Is oil worth more than blood? Is silence worth the shame? Because while you negotiate with murderers, we are dying, calling your name. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? We are still here. We are still strong. Do you know Europe? How much longer? How much longer? How long? Do you know Europe?
To all of our friends around the world, under the yoke of the Islamic Republic, Iran is identified in your minds with terrorism, extremism, and poverty. The real Iran is a different Iran, a beautiful, peace-loving, and flourishing Iran. It is the Iran that existed before the Islamic Republic, and it is the Iran that will rise again from its ashes the day the Islamic Republic falls. So let me be clear about how a free Iran will act towards its neighbors and the world after the fall of this regime. In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism. Iran will act as a friend and a stabilizing force in the region, and it will be a responsible partner in global security. In diplomacy, relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored. The State of Israel will be recognized immediately. We will pursue the expansion of the Abraham Accords into the Cyrus Accords, bringing together a free Iran, Israel, and the Arab world. A new chapter will begin, grounded in mutual recognition, sovereignty, and national interest. In energy, Iran holds some of the largest oil and gas reserves in the world. A free Iran will become a reliable energy supplier to the free world. Policymaking will be transparent. Iran's actions will be responsible. Prices will be predictable. In transparency and governance, Iran will adopt and enforce international standards. Money laundering will be confronted. Organized corruption will be dismantled. Public institutions will answer to the people. In the economy, Iran is one of the world's last great untapped markets. Our population is educated, modern, with a diaspora that connects it to the four corners of the world. A democratic Iran will open its economy to trade, investment, and innovation, and Iran will seek to invest in the world. Opportunity will replace isolation. This is not an abstract vision. It is a practical one, grounded in national interest, stability, and cooperation. To achieve this, now is the time to stand with the Iranian people. The fall of the Islamic Republic and the establishment of a secular, democratic government in Iran will not only restore dignity to my people, it will benefit the region and the world. A free Iran will be a force for peace, for prosperity, and for partnership.
وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه روبروم یه واژه یه هدف به نام انتقامه پشت سرم دعای مادر و تو دستم تفنگ بابامه رو زبونم اسم شاه بگین عشق بی انتهاست هر جا اسم ایران اومد اونجا صدای بچه رضاست فردا می نویسن تو کتاب قصه دیمار بگو با تیر جنگی کشتن بچه های بیگناه رو بگو از بخت مادرها شیر زنا و دخترامون بگو تنها شهید شدیم تا تنها نمونه شامون وقتی واسه غمنی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غمنی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غمنی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه
سلام من به تو یار قدیمی منم همون هوادار قدیم
سید سلام چطوری مرد کلی کتلت شدین دایی بدون مدرک سلام بسیجی قهرمان رفتی پیش توسی با پنیر و یه نون سنگک سلام به محفل قرآنیتون سلام به مدیرای بحرانیتون سلام به حاجی اکبر و طوله هاش و خارج و رفقای ارگانیتون سلام به دزدای پول ملت که تش میفتین توی تور ملت سلام به همه شما کرکسایی که دارین نونتون رو میزنین تو خون ملت ساکتش زیر دست و پاک و تک بخورین حالا هی به یه بادکنک بدوین سلام آخر تو زندان باشه وقتی قرار بین آب خنک بخورین مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا اینو بگذاریم به خاک میرسیم تجزیه طلبی که به خاک بیرسیم ایران مردمش وطن پرستن از کرد تا بلوچ بری به فاک میرسی توف به هر چی مرسی است توف به هر کی در پی تجزیه است توف به لوی و همونی که شیفته ی گل ملیگرا تو وطن خدا نسلی هست سر کردستان همه برپا شدن بلوچستان فدای مهسا شدن شم واحد که شیر و خورشید ما بقی جعلی ها تنها شدن شادی باشه واسه همه در میهن کور بشه چه شهرچی اهریمن رخه رو بگی تا اون 6 کلاس سواد و خبرگان و مجد سری ترجیحن شبهای عروس و دامادی باشه برن سلامتی نوش کنن آبادی باشه محصد کجاست میدون شهیاده به سمت اتوبان آزادی باشه سلام به نسل ندید پدیدا نبودیم ندیدیم قدیمتی ما شاه بود تو شادی کل میزدین حالا شاه بر میگرده پیک میزنین مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا
فاهنگ به این خوشگلی با نایده بود اسم این عشقاین رو توش بیاریم ولی خب لازم بود دیگه فکر کنم با نایده
you know how it ends. Smiles for the cameras, deals in the light, but truth disappears somewhere out of sight. Moolah's behind it, controlling the flow. You shake hands with fire, but you already know. Deal with the devil, you know what it costs. Promises fade while the lines get crossed. Deal with the devil, you hear their call. Voices in chains still rise and fall. Deal with the devil, don't look away while lives are taken day by day. Mr. Trump, hear the streets, hear the cry. Iranians want freedom, they're reaching high. From cells to the shadows, their voices still grow, dreaming of a future they don't even know. Deals at the top while the pressure runs low, and down below the fear continues to grow. Deal with the devil, you know what it costs. Promises fade while the lines get crossed. Deal with the devil, you hear their call. Voices in chains still rise and fall. Deal with the devil, don't look away while lives are taken day by day. Mr. Trump, now the moment is real. Reagan or Obama, pressure or deal. One stands firm, one bends to the game. History writes down the choice and the name. Stand with strength, don't let it all go. You don't free millions by moving too slow. Mr. Trump, if you give them that deal, they keep the power, they tighten the seal. More voices silenced, more lives erased, while freedom is pushed further away. Be the Reagan they need, take a stand, don't trade their future for a sake of a hand. Deal with the devil, you know what it costs. Too many lives already lost. Deal with the devil, you hear their call. Iranians fighting, they won't let it fall. Deal with the devil, don't look away while lives are taken day by day. Mr. Trump, be like Reagan, no deals with the devil.
Let's go. میخوام بگم از دلم، از عشق به این میهنم، به امید روز شکست دشمن شاه برمیگرده به وطن. برگشتن پهلوی، وحشت هر اجنبی، بلند بگو همشهری، شاه رضا پهلوی، نظام رسیده پرتگاه، بلند بگو جاوید شاه، برگشت شاه به میهن، دوای درد وطن، این آخرین نبرده، پهلوی برمیگرده، داره میاد پهلوی، زجه بزن سید علی، راه نجات وطن، پهلوی هموطن، ایران میشه گلستان، شاه که بیاد به ایران، ایران که شاه نداره، حساب کتاب نداره، آخون باید گم بشه، توپ تا شو بیرون اجنبی داره میاد پهلوی فریاد بزن جاوید شعار هر وطن ما شاه میخوایم نه ملا بزار بشنوه دنیا ایرانی داد بزن شاه تو فریاد بزن برگشتن پهلوی وحشت هر اجنبی بلند بگو هموطن شاه رضا پهلوی فریاد بزن جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه بلند بگو جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه فریاد بزن جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه بلند بگو جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه فریاد بزن جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه بلند بگو جاوید شعار هر وطن خواه
Look at us here today. We see so many flags representing so many nations. We know we are not alone, and we thank you for being with us. For all people around the world who stand today in unity with the Iranian people, this is not just because it's good for us, and you do it out of compassion and care for our rights to liberty and justice and equality and human rights. But understand that it is in your best interest too, to have, unlike this regime that has been propagating terror and radicalism, we the people of Iran are peacemakers and not warmongers. We like to be friends, especially with the free world. We'd like to be able to have the best neighborly relationship with the people of our area and the region, with the Arab countries, with Israel, and all our other neighbors. We are fighting for justice, we're fighting for human rights, we are fighting for liberty, we're fighting to put an end to all sorts of discrimination. Because as an Iranian, I stand here to tell you that I've dedicated 47 years of my life because I think that my country deserves far better than what we have right now. To now understand that their best remedy is to support the people of Iran, because ultimately a free Iran will be your best partner, not just to bring stability and peace, but it will be in your best economic interest and opportunities. Together we can prosper again, and the world will be so different once the Iranian people are free. I am here to guarantee a transition to secular democratic future. I am committed to be that leader of transition for you, so we can one day have the final opportunity to decide the fate of our country through a democratic, transparent process, through the ballot box and free elections. And let's make sure that this time, especially the free nations of this world and their governments, stand on the right side of history.
Well, Durud, patriots. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to day 138 of Iran Revolution Live with your wonderful and amazing host, Mr. ARMIN NAVABI.
And your wonderful and amazing host, Goldie Ghamari.
Thank you. ARMIN, how are you doing today?
Good, good. So many updates. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. A little bit tired because my live stream last night, usually I do about 2 hours. It went a little bit longer because all of a sudden we saw that the White House was going live, and it was the state visit with President Trump and Xi Jinping. So we had a late night sort of live watch party of all of that, and it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting, especially since I have a feeling that what's happening right now in China, I think Iran is at the front and center of the topic of conversations, and we've already seen a few interesting announcements coming from the White House. So maybe we should just dive right into that.
Yeah, I mean, I have, I don't know, like I have so many updates. China, Marco Rubio, Admiral Cooper, updates from inside Iran. I'm sure I haven't noticed so many of the things that you've seen because there's so many things happening. So I'll show you what I have, and then maybe, okay.
Let's go with what you have, and then I'll sort of fill in the gaps if there's anything that I want to add to it. Let's do it that way.
Okay. So let's go through them. All right. So this is Fox News. President Trump talking about Xi and regarding Iran. So he said, if I can, I think it's about Iran. Yes, it is. Hormuz. So let's watch this.
President Xi would like to see a deal, man. He would like to see a deal, man. And he did offer. He said, if I can be of any help at all, I would like to be of help. Because,
he did say that.
Yeah, he did say that. And look, anybody that buys that much oil has obviously got some kind of a relationship with him. But he said, I would love to be a help. If I can be of any help whatsoever, he'd like to see the Hormuz Strait open. He said, if I could be of any help whatsoever, I would like to help.
I mean, they're desperate. I mean, I could see, like, I mean, I bet you they want to see the Strait of Hormuz open. That's where their oil comes from. And they don't like the fact that the major source of their energy is closed. So they're desperate to try to figure out a way to open it. The problem that we have is that China's way of trying to open the Strait of Hormuz would unfortunately be biased in favor of the Islamic Republic. So that's why we don't trust them as a mediator. I mean, we don't trust anybody, to be fair. Right.
Yeah.
So there's that. That. And then we had this video from Marco Rubio that's going viral everywhere. Let's play that. He was on the plane to China. This video came out. Let's listen to that.
To the United States, Joe Biden was begging to get back into a nuclear deal with them. The whole world, the French, the Germans, the UK, they imposed new sanctions on Iran last year, snapback sanctions because of the nuclear threat. The whole world has seen Iran was building up a conventional capability where they would have so many missiles and so many drones that they could overwhelm anybody's defenses. Once they had that, nobody could do anything about their nuclear program, because they would say, if you attack our nuclear program, we will wipe out 6 countries in the Gulf region and you won't be able to defend against it. You won't have enough patriots, because you get these swarms of drones, these swarms of rockets. They were on the verge. In a year from now, they would have been at that point. The president said that's an intolerable risk. People are struggling to make that connection. The connection is very real. They were building such a high number. They were going to have so many drones and missiles that no one can.
This is what so many people don't understand. A lot of people think that the Islamic Republic, if they become nuclear, nobody would be able to stop them anymore. And that's about it. What Marco Rubio understands here is that if the Islamic Republic got to a certain number of drones and missiles, even if they didn't become a nuclear weapon country, it would already be high enough deterrence that nobody would want to bother them either. So a lot of people think that the Islamic Republic only has to get a nuclear weapon for it to have a status like North Korea, for them to be untouchable and nobody wanting to deal with them anymore. But that is not the case. Even if the number of ballistic missiles of the Islamic Republic reaches, for example, 30,000, they will achieve that status even without a nuclear weapon. And that means that the Islamic Republic will be able to do whatever it wants, knowing that nobody's going to come and try to do regime change on them, including but not limited to closing the Strait of Hormuz forever and collecting tolls from it.
Attack Iran, because the result would be catastrophic for the region. And once they had that immunity, then they would break out towards a weapon. We knew that. The president is not going to allow that to happen under his watch.
Yeah.
So this is very important because Marco Rubio is confirming that it's not just nuclear, it's missiles and drone capability as well. It's not just, and this means, as Goldie always mentions, that means that nothing short of total surrender will be acceptable. Think about this, guys. As Marco Rubio says that we need to make sure that the Islamic Republic doesn't have the missile capability and the drone capability. That means that we're talking about a deal that it was so humiliating for the Islamic Republic that would be nothing short of a surrender. Then we have another update from Marco Rubio regarding the China talks. Let's see if this is Iran related. Yes, it is. So let's listen to this update from Marco Rubio regarding the talks with China and regarding Iran.
He did, and it was important because the Chinese side said they are not in favor of militarizing the Straits of Hormuz, and they're not in favor of a tolling system, and that's our position.
Well, I mean, that's okay. That's obvious. So China is still in the side of the Islamic Republic, but they would not like the Islamic Republic to be able to control the Strait of Hormuz because Chinese want to be able to, for them to have complete access to the energy coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. So even though they're very biased towards the Islamic Republic, they don't like the Islamic Republic being able to control the Strait of Hormuz like this. They don't like the toll system. They don't like it at all. But that doesn't mean they're not biased against the in favor of the Islamic Republic. They are very biased, but this is something that is annoying them. Right.
So if you haven't seen the full interview with Marco Rubio, I have that. I sent it to you that we can play after we go through some of the other clips as well, because the full interview is quite interesting and very revealing.
Ooh, good catch, Goldie. Thank you for that. So we could go to that as soon as. So should I go through the clips first?
Yeah, go through the clips.
Okay. Let's look at this clip over here.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Look, the Chinese are the largest importer of Iranian crude oil in the world, and President Trump likely brought this 90%. Up during his ongoing conversations in Beijing.
No, I just said 90%, yeah.
Yes, 90%. So 90% of the Islamic Republic's oils went to China. From the China side is China's import of energy, I think 15%, like something under 20% of it is from the Islamic Republic, which is a big number. 90% from the Islamic Republic side, which means that without China, with that Chinese purchase of Iranian oil, the Islamic Republic is screwed. And by the way, guys, the reason why I say Iranian oil instead of the Islamic Republic oil, because that's our oil that they're stealing, right? And guys, I see the super chat. We're going to get to the super chat section soon, okay? But let's go through the clips first.
Conversations in Beijing. When we look at Iranian military action in the Strait of Hormuz and the country's nuclear program, these are both directly funded by those oil exports. Reports this morning indicate Iran has seized another vessel off the coast of the UAE. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox's Sean Hannity that the Chinese should play a more active role in getting Iran to change course.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Chinese that are hurting, and the U.S. economy is doing fine. So you could pressure into Chinese to pressure their buddies, the Islamic Republic, to put pressure on them in regards to the Strait of Hormuz, not because they are sympathetic to the Americans and their issues, but just because they're hurting. The Chinese economy is hurting from this more than the U.S. economy.
Countries of the world economies are melting down because of this crisis in the Straits. They're going to be buying less Chinese product, and the Chinese exports are going to drop precipitously. So it's in their interest to resolve this. We hope to convince them to play a more active role in getting Iran to walk away from what they're doing now and trying to do now in the Persian Gulf.
As for the
I love how Rubio never says the Gulf. Rubio always says the Persian Gulf, and I always appreciate that he does that. That's really nice.
Possibility of a negotiated settlement, Vice President J.D. Vance indicated there's been some progress in recent weeks, but the question remains if it's enough progress to avoid the war resuming.
Wait, so progress with regards to what? Sorry, the negotiations?
And getting Iran to walk away from what they're doing now and trying to do now in the Persian Gulf.
As for the possibility of a negotiated settlement, Vice President J.D. Vance indicated there's been some progress in recent weeks, but the question remains if it's enough progress to avoid the war resuming.
No,
I want to be able to look the American people in the eye and say with confidence that you are not going to have to worry about this very, very dangerous regime having access to the most dangerous weapons in the world. That's the goal that we're focused on. Again, there's a lot of ways to accomplish that goal. The president has set us off on the diplomatic pathway for now, and that's what I'm focused on.
For now. That's good that he says that, okay? That's good that he says that.
The Iranians have continued to speak and threaten amid escalating tension across the region. Iran's foreign minister said the country is prepared for both diplomacy and war.
Why ready to fight with everything we have in defense of our freedom and our soil? We are equally ready to pursue and defend diplomacy. As I have repeatedly,
that means we're hurting, and please let's talk. That's what it means when he says, because guys, that's a language, that's a tone change. They're like, oh, we'll fight, we'll destroy the Americans, Israelis, come at us. He's like, we're ready for diplomacy as well. That means that we're hurting. Please, let's talk. That's what that means.
Why ready to fight with everything we have in defense of our freedom and our soil? We are equally ready to pursue and defend diplomacy. As I have repeatedly stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran.
I mean, they used the military solution to kill your supreme leader. That worked out very fine. All right, that worked out very fine. So I wouldn't say there's no military solution. We wanted him dead, and the solution to that was a military solution, and he's now dead. So I think you're wrong about that.
Thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure.
We Iranians, shut the F up. Don't speak on our behalf. Don't group us. Don't group yourself with us. We Iranians, who made you our representative? Your fake elections? Who made you our representative? We Iranians, you don't speak for Iranians. You know who speaks for Iranians? Prince Reza Pahlavi. He speaks for Iranians. You don't. So shut the hell up.
There is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran.
Yeah, it's people saying careful, Armin. Yeah, I know. I'm not swearing. I know where I am. Yeah,
you're getting into those bad habits again.
No. Wait, is that bad that I do it in other places?
No, I don't care what you do in other places.
No. Okay. No, guys, I behave myself. Okay, it's with Goldie. Okay, don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat.
We don't bow, Goldie. We don't bow to pressure.
Wow, his English is so good.
Right. I mean, that's why he's the foreign minister.
Stated, there is no such thing as a military solution to anything related to Iran. We Iranians never bow to any pressure or threat, but we reciprocate the language of respect.
Yeah, he's hurting.
Here in Israel, the conflict continues against Iran's largest proxy, Hezbollah, in southern Lebanon. The group launched drones over the border earlier today, wounding 3 people in northern Israel. Guys?
Solve the Islamic Republic problem, you will solve the Hezbollah problem as well, right? So let's see what President Trump said here when he was in China. Let me just quickly, this is a 30-second clip.
Reciprocal on our behalf. So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those that say this is maybe the biggest summit ever. I can never remember anything like it. I can say in the United States, people aren't talking about anything else. But it's an honor to be with you. It's an honor to be your friend. And the relationship between China and the USA is going to be better than ever before. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Is this a different clip or same? Yeah, no, it's the same clip. All right, so let's go to Iran, because people are saying the IRGC doesn't have enough food. The IRGC is struggling to feed and pay its own forces, as personnel openly complain on camera. I heard this from my sources inside Iran as well, that they noticing that the IRGC people are now complaining, which is really good. In this video, an officer complains about being served little more than potatoes and pickles, while also saying salaries are not being paid. This comes as the Islamic Republic faces mounting economic pressure from mismanagement, corruption, war-related costs, and years of massive spending on proxy militias regional operations, and security networks across the Middle East. Despite the regime's public messaging, moments like this are important indicators of growing internal financial strain and worsening liquidity problems under the US-led naval blockade and broader economic pressure campaign. So, guys, the fact that this guy is recording it and putting it online, I mean, how does he even have internet? Like, is he using one of those white SIM cards to complain about the Islamic Republic? That's a big deal. Let's actually listen to it. So they say, look, this is the food we eat and survive on from morning to night. We sacrifice our lives and energy for this. This is the food we get. Forget the salary, which is already nothing. So okay, that's IRGC not happy.
And then he says, that means, so he's basically saying we're not even getting, so he's confirming that they're not getting paid. They haven't been, like their salaries aren't being paid.
Yeah. I read that. It says, forget the salary, which is already nothing as well. Yeah. So that, Goldie, you're right. That confirms that we were right about the fact that many people within the IRGC are not getting paid or their payments are delayed. I mean, how many of them do you think are going to be continuing to fighting for the Islamic Republic if this is their conditions, right? So, Arakchi, Islamic Republic's foreign minister accused the UAE on Thursday of direct involvement in military operations against Iran, escalating Tehran's criticism of regional. That is so rich. Escalating Tehran's criticism of regional states during a BRICS meeting in New Delhi. Okay, guys, is there anything more irrelevant than BRICS? I don't know. Against the UAE. You bombed the UAE without them attacking you first. How, like, the audacity to complain about the UAE. Unbelievable. All right, so I have a few clips about CENTCOM from CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper. Again, guys, when military commanders, when General Kane and Admiral Cooper speak, those are the best indications on how things are going in the most objective way. Because remember, military commanders, they're not politicians, and they just basically have the most objective takes on what's going on. So we need to pay attention when the military commanders are talking. Okay, so let's see what he has to say here.
I'd like to use the opportunity to myth bust on drones. Okay. The days of $35,000 drones that we saw in the last couple of years, particularly in the fight against the Houthis in Yemen, those days are behind us. Today, we face an increased threat from drones that are highly sophisticated. They're jet-powered. They have high-end sensors. They have electronic warfare. They have signals intelligence. So those days of using high-value defenses to shoot down cheap targets are behind us. Quite the contrary, what we have been doing lately is using our own low-cost one-way attack drones, attacking Iran, making them use higher and more expensive weapons. So I can confidently tell you we have flipped the cost curve in many ways, always work to be done, but I like where we are in this.
Ooh, we have flipped the cost curve in drone warfare against the Islamic Republic. So the days of using high-value defenses to shoot down cheap targets are behind us. Guys, that means the United States has figured out a way to make the cost on defending against drones more expensive for the Islamic Republic than the cost for United States to attack with drones. So two could play the game of having cheap drones that cause a lot of damage financially to you for you to defend it. You think only the Islamic Republic can do that? No, the United States can do that even more effectively. So this is flipped the cost curve. Love this. So a lot of people think like, oh yeah, United States is very powerful, but the Islamic Republic has found cheap ways to hurt them where it hurts the most and making them cost a lot of money. Now that has flipped. Now it's the United States that is doing that to the Islamic Republic. And let's see another clip from CENTCOM. I think this is different. Yes.
How long have you been familiar with Iran and its leadership and its attacks against the United States?
I've studied it or been a part of it for the better part of 3 decades, particularly acutely in the last 5 years.
And leading up to February 28th, months prior to that. What was jarring to you that you saw different than what had been for those many decades that you've been involved?
I think it's important to note just in the 30 months before Epic Fury commenced, Iran and its proxies had been attacking U.S. service members and diplomats about 350 times.
Can you repeat that?
Whoa! What?
Just in the 30 months before Epic Fury commenced, Iran and its proxies had been attacking U.S. service members and diplomats about 350 times.
Can you repeat that?
About every third day, Iran and its proxies attacked American service members 350 times in the Middle East.
I don't think.
See, guys, look at this. It was no. He's wrong. This was an unprovoked attack by the Americans. The Islamic Republic was not doing anything to the Americans. They were just minding their own business, and all of a sudden, the United States showed up, just attacking the Islamic Republic. That wasn't bothering any Americans at all. This can't be true. He must be lying.
That Americans were aware of that in the 30 months that they had attacked Americans or their service members 350 times. Does that surprise you that I would say that? That I don't believe that everyday American going to work knew that?
It's disappointing, but between the actions of proxies in Iraq and Syria, as well as the Houthis, that's simply the fact of what happened.
How long have
Guys, this needs to be communicated to the Americans, because so many Americans have been lied to think that this was unprovoked. This is a big deal. So the Islamic Republic has attacked U.S. troops and diplomats roughly 350 times. We're not talking about the past 47 years. We're talking only in the past 30 months before Operation Epic Fury. Only in the past 30 months, 350 times. More Americans need to know this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So going back to Iranian people. So because remember, guys, Prince Reza Pahlavi, in his video message, he showed us that he wants us to bring attention to Iranian people. We should talk about them and the what they're going through. And Goldie has inspired me. Like Goldie sometimes in her videos, in her tweets, in her live stream, she always brings attention to the Iranian people. Princess of Pahlavi and Goldie always inspire me. So let me see what this video is about. This is an Iranian woman.
Fuck the Islamic Republic and all of its supporters. They executed Mohammed Abbasi this morning, a man that we all posted about since the beginning of this revolution. Him and his daughter were protesting in Iran in early January, and they both got arrested. While she's serving a 25-year sentence in prison, she was informed this morning that they executed her father in silence in the name of Islam and with the first Islamic prayer in prison. Voy Barma. President Trump.
I don't know what the rest of this is going to be like. Should I play it?
Is she going to swear or something or what?
I don't know. Do you want me to watch it off camera before I play it?
Yeah. Because I know, like, it is an emotional time.
Give me a second.
I mean, I posted about this as well. I can bring it up here.
Yeah, bring it up.
I mean, they're executing innocent Iranians every day. So
he's not saying anything against President Trump, but she is swearing, but she's asking for help.
So then let's not, yeah.
Okay.
Just because a lot of children do watch Iran Revolution live.
So just to tell you what she says without using the swear word, she talks about asking, like, she's swearing at the Islamic Republic. But she talks about bomb them, free us, help us, we need help and stuff like that. So Goldie, yes, you go ahead. That's a better post to share.
Yeah. So guys, this is why Iranians want the United States and Israel to continue with the military strikes against against the Islamic regime, because unless and until the Islamic regime is eradicated, the executions will not stop. In fact, they are ramping up. And I have this video here that I bookmarked. Here, let me pull it up. And this is Ejei. He's the evil demon mullah cleric who's like, the chief justice or whatever, justice in very sarcastic terms, of course, because he's basically the chief executioner. And him and Salavati. Do you want to bring up the Boom Boom Bingo sheet, Armin, while I find that video of his? So we can show people who we're talking about here. He's the very, very evil Ayatollah who is basically responsible for the executions of tens of thousands of innocent Iranians. And in recent days, they have publicly said that they will be ramping up the executions because they're trying to use the executions as a way to demoralize the Iranian people and scare them into not rising up. Why can I not find this? Oh, here we go. So this is his video. So I'll play it once. Actually, you know what? I'll play it and I'll read the subtitles for people. So this is the evil demon man here. And he says, hasn't an all-out war with all this violence and rioting occurred?
جنگ تمام عیار با این همه خشونت و اختباسات رخ داده یا نداده؟ من به نظر
And then he's like, it seems to me that we should issue many more sentences. So he's talking about death sentences, executions.
می‌رسه که ما احکاممون جناب آقای خیلی باید زیادتر صادر بشه. هم در رابطه
both regarding the confiscation of property and the issuance of death sentences. So basically, this evil Ayatollah, this evil Muslim Nazi is saying that they need to speed up the executions of innocent Iranians.
با مصادره اموال هم در رابطه با صدور حکم اعدام اینا رو
And he's like, really expedite these, right? So he's like, speed it up. Do you see how evil these people are? Like, these people are bloodthirsty savages. And he's like, for those who can be sentenced, as you mentioned, there's no need to call it an escalation. The law allows you to do this. So he's like, Islamic law, Sharia law, allows us to execute the enemies of Islam and Allah. And then he's like, issue those sentences as well and announce them. Do you see how calmly he's talking about, like, do you see how evil these people are? Like, listen to how calmly he's just sitting there and he's saying, yeah, we need to speed up the executions. We need to murder more people. Right? Like, it's just like these people are so evil, like they're demons, right? So guys, this is why Iranians want the United States and Israel to continue with the military operations, because this is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. They're murdering us every day.
Yeah. So Goldie wanted to bring up the bingo sheet, and this is the bingo sheet. We have Ejei and we have Salavati here as the main two people within the judicial branch, and both of them have been killing a lot of people together. Yes. And this is why they're two of the most hated people within the Islamic Republic. Yeah. Okay, so Mark Levin had a recent post, 30-second video here from a bigger segment here. I just wanted to, he posted this 30-second segment, so I thought it would be worth listening to this really quickly.
We know what they're doing to the people in Iran. God almighty, I don't know how many more places I can try and urge all of our decision makers to pay attention to what's going on in Iran, to the people. We don't talk about it enough. And arm them. Well, the Kurds did this, the Kurds did that. I don't know what the Kurds did or didn't do. I said arm the Iranians. If you like this little clip that you just...
So that was pretty on point and good. I completely agree with that. We know Israel may need to act again in Iran, the defense minister says. So we have an update from Israel. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said on Thursday the country's Iran mission was not complete and that further action could come soon. Another confirmation that we're going to go back to significant military operations soon. And then we had this update from Iran International. Let me bring the English. The British Maritime Train Operations Center announced that it has received a report of a maritime incident 38 nautical, I think I pronounced that, miles northwest of Fujairah, United Arab Emirates. The entity stated that the vessel, while at anchor, has been seized by unauthorized individuals and is now heading towards Iran territorial waters. So we had basically a ship, a British ship, taken by the Islamic Republic right next to the UAE, and that is a big deal. That at some point I think we're going to hear more about this, right? Okay, I'm not going to share that because I don't think we're memeing anymore, right? No, like we're getting more serious, so I'm not going to share.
I mean, if we have time, but there's a lot of things to go through, right?
So yes, of course. Let me just show you two clips before I go to the longer interview videos that we have. Just two more clips.
I think Chris Wright is right. We have known for a while that Iran has 60% enriched uranium. That means that its uranium has a 60% concentration of an isotope called U-235. It's a small step from 60% to 90%, a matter of weeks, maybe days, and then all they have to do is stick the warhead on the end of a missile and fire it. Could they reach the United States? We're not sure. We're very sure, pretty sure, they can reach Turkey, Paris, Berlin, London. Here's the problem. And here's why the New York Times is wrong. Iran has been a problem since God was a baby. And the problem is that
Iran, it was a problem since God was a baby. Okay.
Leadership there.
Well, not really. I mean, Iran was not a problem before the Islamic Republic. I'm sure God was an adult by then. During the Pahlavi time, Iran was not a problem.
Since God was a baby. And the problem is that the leadership there is a strain of crazy that can't be fixed. If you give them a bomb, they will use it. I know my colleagues like Senator Schumer says they're not a problem, but frankly, Senator Schumer can't even cook a cheeseburger. On this issue, he's wrong. They're a threat, and that's why the president acted.
Okay, so they got some updates regarding the UAE, and after that, we're going to go to the super chats before we watch some the interviews with Marco Rubio, and then we also have some interviews with Scotty B. But let's do this clip and then super chats, and then we'll do the Marco Rubio interview. This is the UAE update.
Reports do indicate Iran has seized another vessel off the coast of the UAE. According to a maritime tracking group, that ship is now headed to Iranian waters. All of this comes after the Iranians accused the UAE of being directly involved in attacks against their country, and a diplomatic spat overnight that included the Israelis announcing that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a secret visit to the UAE during the war, only to see the Emiratis deny it later. Secretary.
Yeah, by the way, guys, that was a historical moment where Prime Minister Netanyahu went to the UAE. The office of Prime Minister Netanyahu announced that the Prime Minister Netanyahu went to the UAE. And then we got a notice. The Emiratis came out with an official statement from their official account saying that never happened. I don't know about you guys, but I trust the office of Prime Minister Netanyahu way more than I trust any officials from the UAE. So I'm going with it did happen, and the UAE is just worried about the backlash, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
The Emiratis deny it later. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox's Sean Hannity the Chinese should play a more active role in getting Iran to change course in the Persian Gulf.
Well, if all the countries of the world economies are melting down because of this crisis in the Straits, they're going to be buying less Chinese product, and the Chinese exports are going to drop precipitously. So it's in their interest to resolve this. We hope to convince them to play a more active role in getting Iran to walk away from what they're doing now and trying to do now in the Persian Gulf.
As for the possibility of a negotiated settlement, Vice President J.D. Vance indicated there's been some progress in recent weeks. The question remains if it's enough progress to avoid the war resuming.
I want to be able to look the American people in the eye and say with confidence that you are not going to have to worry about this very, very dangerous regime having access to the most dangerous weapons in the world. That's the goal that we're focused on. Again, there's a lot of ways to accomplish that goal. The president has set us off on the diplomatic pathway for now, and that's what I'm focused on.
Iran's foreign minister spoke today saying his country is prepared for both diplomacy
and
war.
Okay. The fact that he says he's ready for diplomacy means that they're begging to stop. Goldie, can I practice bringing the super chat scene so that I know how to manage it?
I mean, sure. Yeah, you can. I mean, I set it up before, but you have to add yourself to the screen now. There you go.
There we go. I can do that. Okay. All right. See, so now, if you would never need me to bring it up, I could bring it up.
There you go.
Easy, easy. All right. Okay, so let's look at super chat time, guys. We could make a small little jingle with AI saying singing super chat time.
That would be weird.
All right. Mike thank you so much. Mike became a YouTube member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Amir, thank you so much for the super chat saying Project Vendetta and Navajo Nature.
Navajo Nature.
Navajo. Oh, sorry. Okay. Navajo Nature blessed us with a new song, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Guys, go check it out. Sorry, I can't pronounce these things. And then we thank you so much, Amir, for the super chat. Go check it, guys. Go check them out and support them. And then we have Philip Blue became a member. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to being a member. And then Amir gifted 1 membership on Goldie Ghamari's YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Amir. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate that. And then William gave us a super chat saying North Korea had enough artillery deterrence to flatten Seoul before they had nuclear to prevent US from taking meaningful action against them. Oh, that's actually a very good point. So basically with the Islamic Republic, we're going through the same history unless United States and Israel stop it. We need to learn from that mistake that we didn't stop in North Korea to get to the point where it is right now and not repeat it with the Islamic Republic again, because guys, North Korea is somewhat untouchable right now because we made that mistake. So let's not repeat that mistake. Thank you so much for that reminder. That's a very good point. And thank you so much for the super chat. Sherry saying Goldie is so, thank you, Sherry, for the super chat. Sherry saying Goldie is so dedicated to being a voice of the people of Iran. Thank you.
Oh, thank
you. She is. Yes, she is, and she inspires us all to do the same thing. So thank you, Goldie. You're such a powerful voice in the defense of our people. We really do appreciate you.
Thank you.
And then we have Lior. So I ever since I've learned how to pronounce Lior's name, I want to do it more because it's actually I like that pronunciation. Lior saying, "Hi, Armin and Goldie. I just wanted to say how genuinely impressed I am by the amount of dedication and consistency you both put into what you do. What keeps you motivated to keep going?" Goldie motivates me to keep going. Right. So one, that's one, Goldie. And then that's the question number one. Two, do you have a role model? Goldie is my role model.
So kind. Oh my gosh, too funny. Wow.
No, I'm being serious. The answer to both of those questions are Goldie. Okay,
Wow, thank you. Wow, that's kind of you to say. I mean, for me, what keeps me motivated is, um, fighting for freedom for Iran and knowing that, people in occupied Iran are suffering every day and they're fighting for freedom. So, that keeps me motivated, knowing that we're, very, very close to the end. And my role model is, of course, His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi, right? I always try to look to him and emulate him. So that's sort of, what keeps me motivated. And I think, Armin as well, and everyone is, this fight to free our country, and we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up until this occupation is over once and for all.
Yeah, true. I have a lot of friends inside Iran, and sometimes they get online and leave me a message, and they tell me what they're going through and how the situation they're in, and also their motivation to come back and do an uprising and finish the job. And every time I get a message like that, I feel so ashamed, and I feel like I'm not doing enough. And every time I get a message like that, I feel like I need to get back to work. Every single time I get a message like that, I'm like, okay, no time for rest. They're doing way more than I am, and get back to working, Armin. So that's something that happens to me every time I get that message. I got a recent message from somebody inside Iran, first telling me how horrible the situation is economically, but also telling me how much he's noticing the drive and motivation to come back into the streets and finish the job is increasing day by day. So anybody who thinks that Iranian people are losing hope and they are demotivated, this is a guy that I really, really trust. So just tell them that they're wrong about this, because I have good information that is actually the opposite. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, one thing that keeps us motivated is that we can't let the Iranian people down. We have a responsibility to them, and we wouldn't be able to live with ourselves if we did anything short of maximum. This is the most important part of our history of Iran. In the darkest time that the Islamic Republic is in, that Iran is under the Islamic Republic, under occupation by the Islamic Republic. And we want to be able to look back at this moment in history and tell ourselves that we did everything that we could when Iran needed us. We're going to have decades to live, and we're going to look back at these moments and these seconds, and we're going to ask ourselves, did we do everything that we can to help our people? And that's what keeps us up at night, making sure that we could live with ourselves for the rest of our lives. Debbie became a member. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Debbie, for becoming a member. Thank you for your support. And then we have, I don't know how to pronounce that. Baby Rhino gets stripped. No.
Ripped.
Ripped. Okay, gets ripped. Okay, Baby Rhino, guys, when there's no spaces, I have a hard time. Baby Rhino gets ripped. Oh, wow. Okay. So the super chat is, considering the IRGC still are using Taqiyya method, is it possible that POTUS is using similar method? I mean, if they're using similar method, it wouldn't be called Taqiyya because it wouldn't be based on Islamic doctrine. But I see what you're saying. Like, are they playing mind games? Yes, for sure. I mean, it's not just because the IRGC is doing Taqiyya. I mean, this is called psychological warfare, has always been part of the strategy of every government when it comes to confusing your enemy. So for sure. But it's only Taqiyya when the Islamic Republic does it because it's part of a religious doctrine. But when POTUS does it, it's basically part of it's not based on theological doctrines, right? But let's continue. For example, what if the weapons that the Kurds stole were actually for them to begin with? So First of all, we shouldn't refer to them as the Kurds because the vast majority of the Iranian and Kurdish people are patriotic people. Those people that they're being referred to are the separatist groups, right? So we don't want to group the patriotic Kurdish Iranian people with the rest of them, right? So these are separatist groups. And I honestly think that I don't think President Trump would be lying about that. I don't think so. Goldie, what do you think? I don't think President Trump would be lying about that.
I agree. I don't think he would be lying about something as serious as that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if they were actually meant for those groups, then he wouldn't say anything. He would keep it on the DL.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. Glad that you agree. Roman Viking saying, want to have Sarah Haider on here one time? Oh yeah, of course. I have had interviews with Sarah Haider. I mean, I'm not speaking. I don't want to speak for Goldie, but I personally would love to. But Goldie, do you want to?
I mean, I don't know who that is, but if you think that would be helpful to Iran Revolution Live, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. I mean, I have worked with Sarah Haider before, so I would love that. I would love that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she's still active, but if she is, very much so for sure. Ricky is saying, who's better at hide and seek, Mujtaba or the 12 Imam? That's a very good question. The 12 Imam obviously has an upper hand. So Mujtaba has only been in hiding for 78 days. The 12 Imam is, I think we're going on, at least 1,200 years, maybe 1,300, at least 1,200 years. So I think the champion, hide and seek champion of the world is still the 12 Imam. But that's a very good question, very nuanced question. I'm glad that you asked that. I wanted to make sure that we have that our official position for the hide and seek champion of the world is still the 12 Imam. It is the Mahdi. Thank you for that. And then Neela became a member. Thank you so much for that. And then we have the last super chat. And guys, thank you so much for all the super chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you for that. Professor Shirzan. What a great name, Shirzan.
I like that name.
So yeah, love it. Yeah. So Professor Shirzan is saying, you guys don't forget, we all suffer from emotional fatigue. When you're fighting so hard, you must take a break from time to time. Even if it's just a few hours, you owe it to Iranians if you need some guilting. Yeah, well, well, thank you for caring about our mental health and fatigue and burnout. Yeah, for sure. For me, as long as I'm getting enough sleep when I wake up, I have enough energy to go. And I've seen Goldie is like a machine. Goldie works really. I mean, you have also. I asked you what your secret weapon is. You said it's Red Bull, but I think it's there you go. Yeah, but what do you think about this? Like when it comes to emotional fatigue, do we have to? How do you deal with that? The emotional part.
I watch like stupid reality TV shows on Netflix. At the end of the night, like after I'm done all of like my work and everything, and I'm literally like, okay, I have like 1 hour before bed, I'll just watch like some stupid like reality TV thing, or I'll watch like true crime documentaries on YouTube or something. So
nice.
Yeah.
I watched the Daily Dose of Internet.
What's that?
It's a YouTube channel that gathers the most fun, interesting.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about it. I'll have to check that out. Daily Dose of Internet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. It's really good. It basically, I don't have to keep scrolling to find good videos. He basically goes and finds the best entertaining videos in one place. And
That's
I know they're
really
good.
smart. That's really smart.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that super chat. Oh my God, so generous. Thank you so much. $50 super chat from Justin. Wow. Pink super chat.
Look at this, Armin. It's your lucky day today.
I know. That's so surprising. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you, guys. Pink super chats for a small channel like mine is like rare. Okay, so thank you for that. Justin is saying, IRGC, give it up already. The fact you refuse to give up your power proves you're narcissistic dictators. The king choosing to leave in 1979 proves he wasn't the dictator you claim he was. Very true, very true. Name one other dictator that gave up their power. That is very true. The king left in 1979 because he didn't. He's on record for saying that if I have to rule by shedding the blood of the Iranian people, I'd rather not rule at all. And he didn't want to kill Iranians, and that's why he left. And that is actually, you're right. That is one of the best proofs that we have that the Shah, the king, was not a dictator. So you're so correct about that. I always mention that as the list. I have a big list of why the Shah was not a dictator, and that's one of the most important ones on my list. In fact, I should make a video about why the Shah was not a dictator. And then because I already have the list, as I might as well make the video. Thank you for the reminder. And then they get the last super chat by Wyatt saying the CIA. Thank you, Wyatt, by the way. Thank you so much. Wyatt is saying the CIA is a government in itself. They raided Tulsi Gabbard's office last night and took files. What? The CIA can't be trusted. They work against Trump. I mean, isn't the CIA, the new administration of the CIA, now working with Trump? I mean, I don't know. I have to look into that. So I will. Okay, wait. I'm going to look into that. Right now, I have no opinion on this. I will dig deeper into this and form an opinion. Okay. And thank you for the super chat. Oh my God, we got another super chat. Hold on. So it's not true. Some people are saying it's not true in the chat. So I don't. But I have no opinions on this, guys. I need to look into it. So I have no idea. Okay. Fuchsa saying, what's your plan on Boom Boom Weekend? IRGC. Oh my God. Okay. I saw for a second. Okay. I didn't read. Okay. All right. Okay. So what is your plan on Boom Boom Weekend? Well, we're gonna do live. Obviously, we're gonna cover it live. That's what the plan is. Right?
So I'm actually
Yeah.
I might not be able to. So as you know, there's like an international Saturday, May 16 is another like global rally where, all these cities from all around the world are going to be attending rallies. So I'm actually traveling tomorrow because I'm going to be attending one of these rallies on Saturday, and I'll be speaking. So I don't know if I'll be able to, we might have to change around. Like I could do Iran Revolution Live tomorrow morning, but basically I won't be back until Sunday. So we might have to put Iran Revolution Live on pause unless you want to do it by yourself. So
I can do it if you want me to. I would be more than happy to do that segment.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great if you could on Friday and Saturday, just because I'm going to be traveling and then I'm going to be in the rally, but I'll be back on Sunday to continue.
Okay. No, Goldie, no, I would not swear. Okay, and I will pre-watch the videos to make sure I'm sharing this with. Okay,
I'll send you. You know what? I might have to send you some content or something. So yeah.
Okay, and I would say this one is by Goldie. This is Goldie's recommendation every time I share that one. Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Oh, we got 2 more super chats. Sherry saying, my granddaughter won the hula hoop contest at her school. Goldie and Armin need to have a hula hoop contest in the free Iran. I will fail so miserably. I would not be. Goldie, can you do hula hoop? I cannot even do one.
I can.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I cannot even do one.
Although, guys, for people who are watching, even though I won't be able to live stream tomorrow or Saturday, I am working on a number of videos that I'm going to be sort of uploading at different times throughout the weekend. So I'm still going to be putting content out. It just won't be like live stream because I'll be unavailable, but there will still be content. And for those of you who watch Newsmax, I think it's Newsmax. Let me see. I I am doing an interview. Yeah, so I'm doing an interview Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on Newsmax. So you guys can catch me on Newsmax as well.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, last super chat. Last promise. Amir saying, please make the video on the Shah so I can prove the truth to my family and friends here at your free time. Of course, I will do that now that you told me. I will make, how about this? That will be the next video. That will be the next video. Oh my God, guys, super chat saying, Armin, I need Farsi swearing class. Okay, well, come to our discussion group. I'll teach you there. Okay, not here. Don't talk about swearing here. Okay, this is a family-friendly show. Okay, Iran Revolution Live is a family-friendly show. Okay, and thank you for the super chats. And Paula, thank you so much for becoming a member. All right, so super chats are done. Guys, you guys were so generous today. Holy crap, that was very, very nice. Thank you so much for that. Let's go to the interview Goldie shared with us. So the way we do it is we go to the previous scene and then, yeah, okay, that was easy. Let's play this. Let's full screen first to make it nicer and then play.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, here we are on board Air Force One. We're headed to China. These meetings are very critical. I mean, my first question, do you view China as our top geopolitical foe?
Yeah, it's both our top political challenge geopolitically, and it's also the most important relationship for us to manage. I mean, it's a big, powerful country. It's going to continue to grow, but we're going to have interests of ours that are going to be in conflict with interests of theirs. And to avoid wars and maintain peace and stability in the world, we're going to have to manage those. There are clearly areas where they're so important for the United States that
Armin, we just received a very large super chat. Can I just acknowledge that really quickly?
Oh, yes.
So wow. Russo 5069, thank you, Goldie. Thank you, Armin. You brought us all here and you keep us here. We're all Iranians now. Yes, you are. Payanda Iran, Slava Ukraini. Yes, thank you. Payanda Iran, Slava Ukraini. And guys, I just want to say, I'm not as familiar with, I shouldn't say familiar. I'm familiar with what's going on, but I don't know, all the details as much. But what I do know about the Russian aggression against Ukraine is that a lot of that Russian aggression is being supported by Islamic regime drones. So what's happening in occupied Iran right now is actually really good for Ukraine, because when Iran is free, Russia is going to lose a lot of the sort of drones and other things that they buy from the Islamic regime, and that's going to severely weaken Russia as well. So yes, we are all on the same side here, and we're always praying for Ukraine as well, and we wish you guys all the success. So thank you for that.
Oh, can I also add to the Ukraine thing? First of all, thank you so much for the very generous super chat. That's very kind of you. Also, with regards to Ukraine, I see Israel and Ukraine as the two countries that are standing up to the greatest evils on this planet. These are the two countries that are paying way more than their fair share fighting evil and fighting Islamic imperialism when it comes to Israel and Russian imperialism when it comes to Ukraine. And I think the whole world owes so much to these two countries, Israel and Ukraine. And hopefully, once Iran is free, we will also join and be on your side. And we could call, I'm not saying United States, because United States is like a superpower. They're also on the right side. But I'm talking about the smaller countries that are paying so much more than their fair share to fight evil, are Ukraine, Israel, and hopefully soon we will also join and help you out.
And Armin, we also, we also have to mention that President Zelensky is supporting the Iranian people against the IRGC, and he has made statements there. So, our two countries and our two nations are united as well in that sense.
Exactly. Fantastic. Yeah.
All right. Then we have Comrade Shifty. Here are a few massage shekels to close the gold. There you go, Armin. Massage. You're getting your 7,000 shekels from Qatar.
Yeah,
They're
Goldie,
almost there.
for so many years, I was told that I was Zionist funded. And I was like, I wish one day that becomes true so I could be like, yes, I am. And because like these was before super chats were a thing. But then now because of super chats, everybody, anytime somebody accused me of being funded by Zionists, I love to tell them that's actually true. I do get funding from Zionists by super chats and sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, that's true. It's true. Okay. Yes.
And then
Oh.
Ange Mordecai says, we have a huge rally in London on Saturday called Unite the Kingdom. Many free Iranians with flags to support King Pahlavi in Israel will be there too. It is the safest place we can get there united. Yeah, I know. I was actually speaking with Tommy Robinson a few days ago. He was telling me about it, and he was like, you should come to the Unite the Rally and speak. And I was like, Tommy, you can't like message me 5 days before the event and be like, come speak. I was like, I've already made a commitment to speak at a different rally on the 16th. But I was like, maybe in the future I'll come join or something. But yeah, good luck with that. I'm sure it's going to be a great time. And guys, just remember, the woke left are going to try to disrupt, and they're going to try to be violent, and they're going to try to, cause fights and drama and all of that. So make sure that you guys are, you have to be on your best behavior. It's unfortunate, but that's always it's been like a double standard, right? Even though the Unite the Kingdom rally is peaceful and it's very patriotic, right? It's about patriotism. But unfortunately, you guys are being, depicted by the fake stream media as like these far right extremists, and literally that's the farthest thing from the truth. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to be on your best behavior. You're going to, like the woke left and the Antifa and communists, whatever, they're going to try to tempt you with violence. You just have to, be the better person.
That is such a good point, Goldie, because even if 99.9% of you are on your best behavior, it only takes like 2 or 3 of you to do something wrong, and they're going to paint all of you with the same brush, like saying, act like all of you are violent. So even if you are a very decent, law-abiding person, like it's really important to try to police everyone else there as well, for everybody to be on their best behavior. I know the vast majority of you are already really decent law-abiding people, but it takes only a few people for the media to be able to attack you like that. So Goldie's advice is so on point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got 2 more.
So Mega Ape, hi guys, we need a campaign to allow Iran soccer players to protest the Islamic regime at the World Cup and to gain refuge in Canada/America along with their families. Armin, this one's a little bit more complicated and tricky, guys.
Because some of the Iranian people are disappointed with soccer players to actually خوشرخصی چی میشه؟ خوشرخصی میکنن برای جمهوری اسلامی. Some of these soccer players have been on the Iranian people.
Armin, one of them is a Basij. One of the soccer players is a Basij. So,
Yes.
guys, the situation with the men's soccer team is a little different than the women's soccer team. The men's soccer team, most of them are affiliated with the Islamic regime, and one of them is actually a Basij volunteer. So, Iranian people actually don't really support the soccer team, because they don't view it as the soccer team that represents the Iranian people. They view them as a soccer team that represents the Islamic regime. We actually, probably not a good idea for them to seek refuge in Canada or United States, because most of them are affiliated with the regime.
Yeah, the Iranian people, like Goldie said, they don't consider this to be Iran's soccer team. They consider it to be the Islamic Republic soccer team. So, we don't support the men's soccer team.
Not all of them, but enough of them, and then there are some who are, anyways, it's a little bit more complicated, but yeah, it's not at all like the women's soccer team.
The few ones who were taking the Iranian people's side, they were kicked out, and they were like, pressured, and so some of them took the side of the Iranian people, but with huge consequences against them. So,
yeah. And then in server, gifted Liberty Politics, 1 membership. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Back to the full interview with
Yeah.
Marco. Okay.
Might as well start from the beginning.
Okay.
China, Marco Rubio. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, here we are on board Air Force One. We're headed to China. These meetings are very critical. I mean, my first question, do you view China as our top geopolitical foe?
Yeah, it's both our top political challenge geopolitically, and it's also the most important relationship for us to manage. I mean, it's a big, powerful country. It's going to continue to grow, but we're going to have interests of ours that are going to be in conflict with interests of theirs. And to avoid wars and maintain peace and stability in the world, we're going to have to manage those. There are clearly areas where they're so important for the United States that we're going to have to raise those issues, and we'll continue to do so. The president's going to continue to do so. There might be some areas of cooperation too, and we want to make sure we don't walk away from those.
You know, it's interesting. The one thing the president always says, he's America first. He understands President Xi is going to be China first, Putin will be Russia first. I think having that understanding is a little bit unique, historically speaking, as if we should be surprised that they put their country above ours.
Actually, foreign policy and national security matters work best when you understand that point. Every country should do what's in the best interest of their country. And then where there are areas of alignment, where what's in our best interest and their best interests are aligned, that's where you have cooperation. That's where you have alliances. That's where you have strong bonds of friendship. When there's conflict, that's between what they want and what we want. That's where the work of diplomacy and these personal relationships between the leaders are so critical. And there are times when some of those issues of conflict are irreconcilable. I think Iran is an example of that. That the clerical regime wants to have a nuclear weapon, and the world led.
There we go.
Sorry. So that's really important to me because I was watching this last night live on Sean Hannity, and so he clearly says, you know, there are certain situations where it's irreconcilable, and Iran is one of those situations. So basically, to me, what Marco Rubio is saying is that there's no, solution or possibility where the Islamic regime can survive, right? He's just saying the differences are irreconcilable, which to me is Marco Rubio, saying in a political way that the Islamic regime has to be eradicated. He's basically saying the only solution in dealing with the Islamic regime is to eradicate them one way or another.
Oh, okay. Let me listen to that part again.
Diplomacy and these personal relationships between the leaders are so critical. And there are times when some of those issues of conflict are irreconcilable. I think Iran is an example of that.
That is, yeah, okay. That's a very good observation.
That the clerical regime wants to have a nuclear weapon, and the world, led by President Trump, says that's completely impossible, cannot happen. So unfortunately, there's some areas like that where it comes up. But there are areas where if we can find areas of commonality, that's very powerful and important. But we will have to manage these bilateral differences because they're very significant. And when it's two big, powerful countries, that falling apart could have tremendous significance on the global economy and on global peace.
I want to get back to Iran in a second. Let me stay on China. Trade, tariffs, intellectual property theft, Taiwan, their help of Iran, I think, is part of it also.
Yeah, all those topics will come up. There's no doubt about it. In the case of the Indo-Pacific, Taiwan, and so forth, it's not in China's interest or anyone's interest for there to be any sort of forced change in the status quo. I think stability there is very important. We've made clear to them, that any support for Iran would obviously be detrimental for our relationship. That obviously is going to come up in this conversation. On trade, look, the United States is very clear. We have to be able to make our own stuff. We cannot depend on China or any country for that matter for 100% of anything that we need. When you depend on any other country for 100% of what you need, you're very vulnerable. Likewise, China wants the world to be dependent on them for 100% because it gives them strength and leverage. So that's a perfect example of an area in which our interests are not aligned. But the president's very committed to bringing back factories, bringing back industrial capacity in the United States, and diversifying where we get our rare earths, our critical minerals, our supply chains.
You know, President Trump has described President Xi to me in interviews as stoic, all business, no niceties in that sense, although there will be a state dinner. Now, I know this is your first trip to China, but not your first go around with China.
Yeah. Well, look, their system is very disciplined. It's very focused. When you speak to them, they have an agenda. They go through that agenda. The president's style is quite different, but they seem to have a very good, at least interpersonal relationship. And that's important. Look, the differences between the countries remain, but the ability to manage it becomes not easy, but easier when the heads of state have a good working relationship, and they seem to.
Yeah, well, I think so too. What would you say? What is your read on President Xi? I mean, you read that their economy is struggling. You read that he's isolated. You read both Putin and President Xi have a pretty high degree of paranoia. What is your read as you look at President Xi from a distance going into the meeting?
Yeah, I think my read has been what I think has been for a while, and that is China has a plan. I mean, they clearly view themselves, they believe they will be the world's most powerful country. They'll surpass the United States, and they have a plan to do it. And they're executing on that plan. And I don't blame them. If I were the Chinese government, I'd have the same plan. We, on the other hand, don't view it that way. And we don't want to see anything. We're not trying to constrain China, but their rise cannot come at our expense. Their rise cannot come at our fall. So there's an area where we're just going to have a difference of opinion. But my view of them and of the government in China is they're very confident. They have a plan, and they're trying to execute on that plan, which is fine. I understand that from a nation state perspective, but when that plan is in conflict with the national interest of the United States, we need to do what's right for the United States. And that'll come up on this trip. But more importantly, that'll be a feature of this relationship for a long time.
If you had, it's kind of hard. It's not a fair question to ask, but if you had
Guys, this is the beginning of a new chapter in the world order. Like, we're entering a new phase. So the global order as we know it is pivoting to a Cold War competition between United States and China. So the era of the era of Soviet Union on one side and United States on the other side. Then we had in between that we had the United States and the Islamic countries and the Middle East issues in the middle, which was historically from a long-term perspective. This is a very short, like it's not the battle between superpowers. This is the era where United States is the superpower. And now we're going into a new Cold War between United States and China. And this is just the beginning of it. And this new era, this new world order that is going to be defined by this tension between United States and China is also happening at the same time that the fourth industrial revolution, which is the AI and robotics, is happening. So there's going to be the main winner of this Cold War is going to be who wins the industrial revolution. So who gets access to the best chips, the most access to rare earth minerals, because that's what you need for the chips. But more importantly than all of that, who gets access to the highest amount of energy. Okay, because you could have the best models, but your models are not going to be that different enough to make a meaningful difference compared to people who have the highest amount of data centers and chips and the people who have the most amount of energy to run those data centers. So it's a battle of chips and energy, and the chips means rare earth minerals. And that's where the main battle is going to be. And Iran is a major part of this war as well, because Iran is a major source of energy, and it's also geopolitically, its geography. It's as a very crucial area within the planet. It connects 3 different continents, and also it's a major source of rare earth minerals as well. And also it gives you access to a whole other places that have rare earth minerals, and also it gives you control over maritime trade routes that other countries' energy comes from as well. So Iran is going to be a key country. So if before this Cold War picks up, Iran comes to the US side, it will be a major disadvantage to China if the Iranian people get their country back. And the Iranian people are very pro-American. So if the Islamic Republic falls, that is going to be a huge advantage to United States in getting way ahead of China. I mean, it's already way ahead of China, but this will also push it even further away, ahead of China even more.
A goal coming out of this summit, because this is a big deal, that you're going, that the president is going, the Secretary of Defense is on this plane, and so many others. And every top business leader in America is going on this trip. It's kind of crazy. If you had a goal, what you would like, you would say would be, how would you define a successful trip?
Well, I think it's already a success because we're going, and we're going to be able to talk to them as opposed to at them. You know, one thing is to exchange phone calls, and another thing is to put out messages and press releases and statements. But when the leaders are actually engaging personally, not just the president to president, but me with their foreign minister and Pete Hegseth with their defense minister and so forth, it creates channels of communication that can prove valuable in a time of potential conflict or where there might be heightened tension. So that's important. I also think, and we're not prepared to announce this yet, but there are a couple of unique areas of cooperation that we can work together on. The obvious ones are obviously fentanyl precursor production, which China, because their system can do this, can really crack down on that. That would help lower fentanyl deaths in the United States. And there are a couple other areas of international relations where perhaps we intend to talk to them about discreetly. We're not going to announce it in the media, but areas that we both share some concern over.
I have a friend of mine. He's a great inventor, and the level of intellectual property theft not just impacted his entire business, but it's impacting many American companies. Big issue?
That's right. That's an enormous issue, and one that we're going to continue to raise. Even as we try to protect our companies and our competitive advantage, we're going to raise that with them. I don't think there's any point in denying that the fact of the matter is that a lot of the advancements, not all, but a lot of the advancements you've seen in the commercial sector, in the industrial sector, the technological sector in China is a product of intellectual property theft and or reverse engineering, which is the same thing, of our own technology. So that has to be addressed. But I also think we can't only rely on that. We have to.
Yeah, you can't stop that, but by addressing that, you just need to keep getting ahead. You know, the country that is stealing is the country that is behind. I mean, this is horrible that they steal this from the United States, but like, how are you going to stop it? It's really difficult to stop that. But yeah, it's just something that is a huge problem with China.
Stay ahead of the curve on innovation. You know, one thing is if you're stealing.
Yeah, exactly. He said, like, you just have to stay ahead. They steal from you, and the response is to just push more with innovation and just be ahead of them.
Of our own technology. So that has to be addressed. But I also think we can't only rely on that. We have to stay ahead of the curve on innovation. You know, one thing is if you're stealing or taking.
And here's the thing, United States will always be ahead of China and Russia when it comes to innovation because their markets are free and you don't have a central command economy where the government, where the state is micromanaging what is being produced, and you have true competition between private companies, and that will always create more innovation. There's something fundamentally wrong with the state capitalism that you have in China and the command economy structure that you have in Russia that destroys competition and therefore it destroys innovation. So inherently, the models that they have in China and Russia inherently keeps them behind.
The stuff that was cutting edge 5 years ago, but the things that are going to be cutting edge 5 years from now, we've got to continue to invest and push our companies to continue to stay ahead of that pace of theft and continue to lead the world in innovation.
Maybe the best way to
And by the way, guys, if you get ahead with AI, you're going to get ahead with everything. Okay, this is the last innovation to end all innovations. Okay, the AI, whoever wins the AI race will win every other race. Because if you are ahead with AI will be able to help you get ahead with everything else. So the one thing United States needs to just get right is to just win the AI race. If you win the AI race, you're going to win every single other race.
Transition to the issue of Iran, which I want to ask you about, is that China's both public statements and their actions. Although it was interesting that a Chinese tanker got hit in the Strait of Hormuz, but obviously they've been taking a very different position. You keep reading the intelligence is showing they've been helping the Iranians. Obviously, it's more important to them.
We've made the argument to the Chinese, and I hope it's compelling, and they'll have a chance to do something about it at the United Nations later this week when there's a resolution just condemning Iran on what they're doing with the Straits. Look, there's three things. The Chinese have ships stuck in the Persian Gulf because setting up a system that says we're going to let certain ships through but others not, it's easier said than done. And you saw a not Chinese flag vessel, but it was a Chinese cargo, got hit over the weekend. I'm sure Iran didn't do it deliberately, but they did it. It happened. And so that's why these Chinese ships are stuck in there. The second is, I don't think that China, it's a huge source of instability. It threatens to destabilize Asia more than any other part of the world because it's heavily reliant on the Straits for energy. And the third reason is because China's economy is export driven, meaning their economy is fueled not by what they consume domestically, but by what they make and sell to other countries. Well, of all the countries of the world, economies are melting down because of this crisis in the Straits. They're going to be buying less Chinese product, and the Chinese exports are going to drop precipitously.
See, this is why the Trump administration is so comfortable with the blockade, because, you know, China is hurting so much more because of it than the United States. So this is why, I mean, we do want the United States to get back to, you know, bombing the Islamic Republic. Because of the situation that the Iranian people are dealing with right now when it comes to food prices and executions and torture and everything else the Iranian people have to deal with. From a strategic perspective, United States economy can weather the storm in a way that China can't, and that's why for United States the blockade is giving them, you know, in the battle against China, in the competition against China, they're comfortable where they are at right now. This is what so many Americans don't understand. But again, there is a deadline for President Trump as well, which is the midterms. We'll see how bad the midterms are going to be for President Trump's ability to be able to carry out what he needs to do in Iran. But some people are saying that whatever plans he has needs to be done before then, because after that, his hands will be more tied than they are right now.
So it's in their interest to resolve this. We hope to convince them to play a more active role in getting Iran to walk away from what they're doing now and trying to do now in the Persian Gulf.
You know, I thought you had a lot of jobs by being the Secretary of State and the NSA, you know, head of the NSA. Then you had to go in and become White House press secretary.
No, Caroline is irreplaceable. I was just a pitch-in.
It seemed that you like it. It seemed like you're having fun.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd have fun if I had to do it every week, but one time ain't too bad, and I enjoyed it, you know, and it was about foreign policy mostly, so I was honored to be able to do it. But we can't wait till Caroline gets back. She had a beautiful baby, and we wish her the best. But
congratulations to Caroline. That's so sweet.
We can't wait to see her back.
The picture was beautiful. But now that we are...
I'm not going to share it, but I saw some attacks by Islamic Republic officials on Caroline on X. It was so vile. Wishing something evil happens to her baby by posting a picture of Caroline Levitt, Islamic Republic supporters on the...
People are
It was
sick.
so...
They're sick.
They're so sick. Yeah.
On the issue of Iran, let me specifically ask you, because it seems like there are two major issues that just continue to percolate. And I had a conversation with the president, a private conversation, and I did ask him if I could talk about it. And it was, you know, I asked him maybe a week ago, I said, you know, are you going to go back to bombing? I said, you could probably wipe out their economy in 15 minutes. He goes, no, Sean, I could knock it out in 5. He goes, but then he said something, and you referenced this in your press when you were filling in for Caroline. And you said, imagine the world with a nuclear-armed Iran, and forget about the Strait. They would hold the entire world hostage.
That's right.
There always seems to come out of nowhere these bizarre conspiracy theories. Oh, the president is doing this for Israel, or for Fox News host, or Bibi Netanyahu.
Yeah, guys, this is what you have to understand. Everybody like, oh, things are bad because the Islamic Republic is doing this and this after we attacked them. That means that we shouldn't have attacked them. This is what these people don't get. If the Islamic Republic is holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage and causing so much mess and chaos around the Persian Gulf, and you're complaining about that, then people should ask themselves, what would they do if they go nuclear? What would they do if they have 30,000 ballistic missiles and they knew that no country, United States or Israel or no other country, is going to do anything about it ever again? Guys, put yourself in the position of the Islamic Republic. If you ever get to a position where you realize that, okay, I have enough deterrence capability that no country will dare come and attack us anymore, wouldn't you close the Strait of Hormuz then completely, knowing that nobody is going to come to do anything about it if you have a nuclear weapon? Why wouldn't you? Like, this is the question. I hope you understand how important this question is. This is the question that people should be asking. Based on what you saw the Islamic Republic does, even when it doesn't have that level of deterrence capability, that means that everything that Trump is doing right now should have been done years ago, before we even got to this point, when they show you what they are willing to do. Let me know if you understand this point that I'm trying to make in the chat, because it's very important.
I ask everybody, did he have any choice based on what Steve Witkoff told us?
No, look, every president in the last 20 years has been worried about the Iran nuclear program. Obama did a nuclear deal with them because he was worried about it. Not a good nuclear deal, but he made one. The president reversed it and imposed crippling sanctions and took out Soleimani, who was a threat to the United States. Joe Biden was begging to get back into a nuclear deal with them. The whole world, the French, the Germans, the UK, they imposed new sanctions on Iran last year, snapback sanctions, because of the nuclear threat. The whole world has seen Iran was building up a conventional capability where they would have so many missiles and so many drones that they could overwhelm anybody's defenses. Once they had that, nobody could do anything about their nuclear program, because they would say, if you attack our nuclear program, we will wipe out 6 countries in the Gulf region and you won't be able to defend against it. You won't have enough patriots.
This is why people say, like, oh, Marco Rubio admitted that it was only because of Israel that they went to war with the Islamic Republic. They have no idea what they're talking about. Like, this shows that President Trump understands, Marco Rubio understands, and many other people within Trump administration understand that one way or another, you had to deal with the Islamic Republic. Marco Rubio came out and said something regarding the timing of the attack being influenced by what Israel had discovered and what they were about to do. They changed the date of the attack, and so many idiots out there are going around and saying, like, oh, this shows that the only reason why they attacked the Islamic Republic was because of Israel. And no matter how many times people point out to them what Marco Rubio was actually saying, they refuse to correct themselves, because there's just so much money right now being made in being anti-Israeli. There's so much money to be made to being anti-Israeli, and they refuse to let go of that narrative.
It's, because you get these swarms of drones, these swarms of rockets. They were on the verge, and a year from now, they would have been at that point. The president said that's an intolerable risk. People are struggling to make that connection, but the connection is very real. They were building such a high number. They were going to have so many drones and missiles that no one can attack Iran, because the result would be catastrophic for the region. And once they had that immunity, then they would break out towards a weapon. We knew that. The president is not going to allow that to happen under his watch.
Yeah. Let's go to the Western Hemisphere. And what is the relationship with Venezuela? And I know it's got to be an issue near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
I know your family background, and that's Cuba.
Well, on Venezuela, it's been 4 months. So I think we've made some steady progress on improving Venezuela. Look, we're trying to normalize that place. This was a place where a country of incredible wealth, but all the wealth was being stolen. It wasn't going to benefit the Venezuelan people. So we've created mechanisms. All the money they make on oil now goes into a bank account in New York, and it's audited by KPMG, and it's being used to pay the salaries of teachers and firefighters and police officers and university professors. So for the first time in over a decade, the wealth of the country is actually benefiting the people of Venezuela, but there's more work to be done. Ultimately, as we work through this process, we will have to reach a stage of transition where you're going to have to normalize your government. There's going to have to be, a process that's legitimate, that people look at and say, this is a legitimate permanent government, presidency, elections, things of that nature. That moment has to arrive, but it has to be, we don't want to wait too long. We want to see it happen, but you don't want to move too fast either, because the whole thing can break. So it's it's a difficult thing to manage, but it's only 4 months in, and I think we should be pleased. Venezuela is a better place today than it was 4 months ago, but it needs to continue to stay on that path. In the case of Cuba, is a very different situation. There is no economy in Cuba. To the extent there's any wealth in Cuba, it doesn't go to the people. It doesn't even go to the government.
Guys, we're going to be hearing a lot more about Cuba in the near future. We are getting closer and closer to a regime change in Cuba. Let me know if you think that's correct. And we don't have just a blockade in Iran, like in the Iranian ports right now. We also have a blockade on Cuba right now, and I think it's seeing results. So we might have to talk about Cuba a lot more, especially because it's related to the Iran situation as well.
Wealth is controlled by a company owned by military generals. They take all the money. They're sitting on billions of dollars. Okay, this is a country where people are literally now eating garbage from the streets, but they have a company that controls all of the money making there that's sitting on $15-16 billion. So it's a broken, non-functional economy, and it's impossible to change it. I wish it were different, but I believe, it's my personal opinion, you cannot change the economic trajectory of Cuba as long as the people who are in charge of it now are in charge of it. That's what's going to have to change. Because
so you need a complete regime change in Cuba then.
These people are proven incapable. I hope I'm wrong. We'll give them a chance. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be able to change the trajectory of Cuba as long as these people are in charge in that regime.
If these people are not in charge, I mean, I can envision American wealth and companies. It could be.
Guys, imagine a world where the Islamic Republic is not power. Venezuela is completely on US's side. Cuba is liberated. Oh my God. What an amazing. We're completely ready in this new Cold War. Our team will have like the absolute upper hand. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, I mean,
the destination.
The one thing Cuba would enjoy is an enormous expatriate community, Cuban Americans that would go back and invest. But I think there would be interest globally.
Same with Iran. Same with Iran. Cuban Americans that will go back and invest. Iranian diaspora will go back and invest and rebuild Iran as well. Guys, the Cuban situation and the Iran situation have so many similarities.
Expatriate community, Cuban Americans that would go back and invest. But I think there would be interest globally. Look, they have significant mineral deposits in Cuba. One of the, and some of the rare earth minerals, some of the best in the world. They have obviously an incredible opportunity with tourism, with agriculture, very rich farmland.
Yeah, Texas troop in the chat saying we're resetting the Western Hemisphere. Exactly. And soon we're going to be resetting the world.
So Cuba should not be a poor country. Its people should not be starving. Its people should be prosperous. And what's
exactly same thing with Iran shouldn't be a poor country. The people shouldn't be starving. Iran should they should be prospering.
Most interesting is you see Cubans everywhere in the world, in the United States, but you see them in Europe, you see them in Panama. Cubans leave Cuba, they go to other countries and they become successful. The only place in the world where Cubans can't seem to prosper and succeed is in Cuba.
That is so much like Iran, guys. This is such a mirror thing. Like Iran, the only place where Iranian people can be succeed is in Iran. Everywhere else they go, they're some of the most successful people there. This is so similar, so similar. Okay, so before we go to the clips, because that was that, let's do some more super chats. We got Billy Cunningham with the Dove Fire 100
a bunch of emojis. Thank you.
Yeah. And then we have D-Monix with the super sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. William thank you for the super chat, William, saying I'm gonna start altering between Liberty Politics and Goldie so I can support both channels more evenly. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Sorry, Armin, I wasn't neglecting you on purpose. Hey, supporting Goldie is supporting Iran, so don't say sorry about that.
All good.
Yes. So thank you so much, William. And Agent Anderson is saying, haha, Dan. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce it. I know who this guy is. Dan, how do you say that? Bilzerian? I think I said it right. Just found out 12% Jewish. Really? Is that true? I hope that's true. I'm going to go look this up. I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, it's hilarious. William is also saying, get another super chat from William. Thank you so much, William, saying it was the Islamic Republic. If the Islamic Republic was who Robbie was referring to, attacking first and causing more casualties, not Israel, which forced Trump's hands. It was the Islamic Republic that Marco Rubio was referring to attacking first. Yeah, so the situation was that the Israelis found out a piece of information that no. So here's the thing, William. The Americans and Israelis had already planned the attack months and months ahead of what Marco Rubio was referring to. But what happened is that the Israeli intelligence found a piece of information that gave them an opening to take out Khamenei. So they had to change the date of an attack. I think it was from a Sunday to a Friday. I don't know exactly when. And because of that, the Americans were also adjusting their scheduling. That was what was happening. But it wasn't, the Americans didn't do the war because the Israelis were doing the war. This was already something that they had planned months ahead of that discussion. This was just a minor change in date. That was the thing. It was the timing of it, not whether or not they will attack it. That's what I remember. Thank you again, William. Thank you so much for your continuous support. Okay, so Goldie, I have, we got another super chat. And then another. I don't know how to pronounce it. Goldie, help, how to pronounce?
It's Ange Mordechai.
Ange Mordechai, thank you. Goldie, help. Okay, Ange Mordechai saying, I need to be careful as my Iranian hubby is going to tell me of how much I spent on supporting your channel. LLL Payandera.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes. Okay.
Very kind.
Thank you so much for the support. Okay. And then we have Flying Robot Duck. Love that username always. Thank you so much for the super chat saying, once the Islamic Republic is gone, how fast will Israel be able to help Iran with its water crisis? Oh, that's a technical problem that I don't know. That's like more technical. Well, I mean, the help will happen immediately, given that just the normalization of relationship, that by itself will show to the world how stable and how open the new Iran is. So just the announcement of the plans to cooperate by itself will open so many doors and so many investments, and so many people will be mobilized and motivated to get into place to create the conditions where this could happen. So I would say that this beginning of the plan will be happening immediately. However, the water crisis is something that will take years to fix, because the level of the damage that the Islamic Republic has done to the water situation in Iran is so bad that we're not going to be able to recover. We're not going to be able to undo that damage for years and years to come. So the starting of the help would be immediate. It would be immediate, but getting the results, the meaningful results, will take years, unfortunately, because given how extensive the damage is, the level of damage that the Islamic Republic has done to our water. The most important thing that we could do is diversify our agriculture away from plants that consume a lot of water. So that would be, even before we fix our water situation, that would be a more immediate thing that we could do to diversify what we are, what we're what the agriculture is based on, right? Because right now it's retarded. We're basically growing the most water consuming crops there, which doesn't make any sense. This was Khomeini's plan to be, okay. So Goldie, I have some, I know you give me a longer clip, but I have some, I think, very important clips that just came out.
All right, let's go for it.
Okay. So let's go with these clips. Okay, Sean Hannity. Okay, let's look at this one. And
the issue, and you've been asked about it, and you've spoken about it, and that is China's support of Iran. How big a discussion was that today?
We discussed it. I mean, when you say support, they're not fighting a war with us or anything.
No.
He said he's not going to give military equipment. That's a big statement. He said that today. That's a big statement.
Yeah,
Said
but do you
that
trust them is the question.
at the same time he said,
Yeah.
you know, they buy a lot of their oil.
Sorry, I don't know why I can't pause it. I need to refresh it so I could pause them. I mean, I wouldn't trust anything that comes out of their mouth. So sorry, I don't know.
Said that strongly. But at the same time, he said, you know, they buy a lot of their oil there, and they'd like to keep doing that. He'd like to see Hormuz Strait opened. I said, well, we didn't stop it. They did it, and then we stopped them. You know, sort of interesting. He joked. He said, you know, it's sort of, if they stopped it, then you stopped them. But they'd like to see it opened. But they actually closed it. He didn't like the fact that they're charging tolls. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know who would pay them. I mean, where do they put the money? The country's decimated. You know, they're charging tolls. Where's the money going?
So what do you think, Goldie, about that statement?
President Trump is saying that this is what Xi Jinping told him. He's not saying whether or not he believes him or trusts him, because remember, I think it was a week or so ago, the United States intercepted a ship from China that was transporting material that could be used for missile production to the Islamic Republic. President Trump is very aware of the close ties between China and the Islamic regime. President Trump is also aware that Chinese technology is being used by the Islamic regime. So, yeah, I know. I mean, this is what President Trump is saying. Whether he believes it or not is something else. But like I'm doing a live stream watch party tonight because I'm going to be like live streaming the full interview when it airs on Hannity tonight. So and then I'll be watching the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. So is it okay if we watch more clips of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some important
Yeah,
highlights
because
of
these are all teaser clips because the full interview hasn't come out yet. So yeah, let's watch all the clips. I think this is fine.
Okay, let's watch another teaser clip. Let me see if this is different or not.
The issue, and you've been asked about it, and you've spoken about it, and that is China's support.
I think that's basically the same thing. You know, I like the Fox News ones more than Rapid Response because they have those big subtitles at the bottom. Makes it easier to follow. So from now on, I'll try to do. Okay, let me see another teaser clip.
Many things to discuss.
What did you want from the U.S.?
A lot of things. We talked about a lot of things. Too many things to discuss, but a lot of things. We had a very good meeting, but we want things from them. One thing he agreed to today is going to order 200 jets. That's a big thing. Boeing. 200 big ones. That's a lot of jobs. It's a lot. Boeing wanted 150. He got 200. He said, I think it was a commitment. I mean, you know, sort of like a statement, but I think it was a commitment.
Yeah, we have to see, because sometimes these people promise things and they never follow through with it, right? So let me see. This is how Iran International summarized it. U.S. President Donald Trump said Chinese President Xi Jinping would like to see a deal made with Iran and offered to help. In an interview with Fox News host Sean Hannity, saying, look, anybody that buys that much oil has obviously got some kind of a relationship with him, Trump said. But he said, I would love to be a help if I could be of any help whatsoever. You know what? Goldie has a really good point. Like, look at the language that President Trump uses. He never says that. He says, they said. So they said something, but like, can we take it seriously? Can we trust it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can trust them, but that's just me.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And you know, there's a reason that President Trump is taking people like Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth and Scott Bessent with him as well.
Why do you think Elon was there?
Well, he's part of the CEO delegation.
Hmm. I
There's
mean,
there's a
basically
whole
all of them.
delegation. There's a whole like the top CEOs of American companies are all there. So Elon's part of that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like so is President Trump hoping to make a lot of like investments in tech companies? I know Tim Cook is there. I know, or Tim Apple, as President Trump likes to say. Is that like here? I have something. The CEO. So something regarding here's the CEO delegation. I have a clip for that. President Trump said this.
So I really look very much forward to our discussion. It's a big discussion. There are those that say this may be the biggest summit ever. They can never remember anything like it.
Okay, so here's what the part that I wanted to read with the delegation with the 30 CEOs. Hold on. So yeah, 30 CEOs. These are their names: Jason Hong, Tim Cook, Elon Musk, Larry Fink, Boeing, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Meta, and Visa. So is this an attempt to do a lot more trade in the tech sector between United States and China?
I think this is a way of I mean it's hard to gauge right now. It's hard to gauge. I mean, I think this is a way of showing America's economic might. We also have to keep in mind that a lot of the Chinese economy runs on stolen intellectual property. So, I mean, I think there's maybe like a dual purpose there as well. I think it's, it's also a show of strength, right? It's also President Trump is taking all these CEOs with him to basically demonstrate to the Chinese how powerful the American economy is and how powerful American businesses are. So I see it both ways. I see it as, maybe we could work together, but also a show of strength from the American side.
Yeah, don't mess with us. We have this many tech leaders, and you don't have a single company that comes even remotely close to any one of these CEOs, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see this Fox News clip over here.
Negotiating table to get them to agree to a peace deal. And the White House readout indicates that could happen, saying Xi told Trump that China opposes Iran's efforts to militarize the Strait of Hormuz and charge tolls for its use, and agrees with the U.S. that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Also says that Xi expressed interest in buying more American oil to reduce China's dependence on the strait. Now, we also knew that President Xi would likely use the Iran issue to try to squeeze the U.S. on the Taiwan issue, and that the U.S. had no plans to change its Taiwan policy.
So, guys, I do believe that, the CCP lies all the time, but these are two statements that I do believe about the Islamic Republic only because it's within their best interest, okay? So the CCP wants the Islamic Republic to be a useful tool. They don't want them to become too powerful. They don't want the Islamic Republic to become nuclear, especially because nuclear powers don't want other nuclear powers to enter, to other countries to become. Being a nuclear weapon country is a very exclusive club, and the countries that are already in this club, they don't want other countries to join this club. It's very exclusive. And as much as the CCP would like the Islamic Republic to survive, the reason why they want them to survive is because they're pathetically weak, and they treat them like a B word, right? They treat them like a useful tool that they have a lot of leverage over, right? So they don't want the Islamic Republic. They would like it for the Islamic Republic to always be close to becoming nuclear so that they could use it as a leverage against the United States, but they don't actually want them to become nuclear. That's not something what China wants, because that would make them too powerful and not something that would be under the control of the CCP anymore, right? And it wouldn't be a tool. So see, the Islamic Republic thinks that China is their ally, but China doesn't see the Islamic Republic as an ally. China sees the Islamic Republic as a useful tool.
Yeah.
And they don't.
It's a means to an end.
Means to an end, exactly. Yeah. So I do believe it that they're frustrated that they're closing the Strait of Hormuz, and I do agree that they don't want them to become nuclear. I do believe in that, I have 2 more clips from Admiral Cooper, which I think we should play. Oh, I need to go soon. So let me just quickly play the. No, that's too long. I can't play that one. That's 5 minutes. Okay, no, I can't play those. These are too long. So let me just actually mention, guys, in 10 minutes, I'm going to be starting my discussion group. Okay, so this is the discussion group. You can see that we're growing. No, not this one. This one. You can see that we're growing. And we are going to have our discussion today, guys. If you want to see our discussions, so the link to the discussion group is in the chat. And I will also put a QR code up here that you could scan that will give you the link on the top right. You see a QR code. If you scan that, it will bring you to this discussion group. And then you could go click on you could either click on this link on the homepage, or you could click on the calendar and you can see today's discussion. You could click on it. And this is the link to the discussion group. And you come talk to me there and the other people in the discussion group. So the link again is in the chat, and also it's in the QR code and that you can scan at top right. So guys, today is VIP, but tomorrow is open discussion and anybody could join. Tomorrow we have 2 different open discussion groups at 2 different hours. You could join. So the 12 o'clock one, these are Pacific times, right? That's me. But there's also Ali that has a 6 p.m. Pacific time discussion group. Both of those are open to everybody. Today we have our VIP discussion group. These are smaller discussion group where people could talk more. So yeah, I hope I see you guys there. And I'm going to be live streaming this discussion on Liberty Politics YouTube channel. And then after that, I'm going to have my 4th live show after that with Ali. But Goldie has a live. Goldie, you have your live show again today, your watch party.
Yeah, I might be going live a few times. I have to figure out my weekend schedule, but my followers know, they have their notifications on, so I'll be posting my lives shortly. But yeah.
Okay. So guys, make sure you keep your notifications on Goldie's channel to make sure you don't miss her upcoming live shows later today. And yeah, I'm going to be live streaming this live in 8 minutes. And if you want to join to our discussion group, just, scan the QR code or click on the link and come and talk to me and the rest of the people in the discussion group. And yeah, Goldie, anything else you want to add before we...
A couple more super chats. So let me just go to... Okay. Did we read this one? Serb here living in Sweden. This is from Dorolo 808. Serb here living in Sweden. The world is in turmoil, but that is expected when lunatics like Putin and the Islamic Republic are finally losing their grip. Good times. Slava Ukraini and Jovica. Slava Ukraini. And then final super chat from Nicholas Calabro. Does anyone know how farmers in southern Iran feel about the regime? They hate them. They hate the Islamic regime.
They hate them.
I'm asking because they are one of the only groups outside of the regime allowed to have guns. So yes, but they don't have like the same sort of military grade guns that the Islamic regime have. They're more like hunting rifles that they have. Mm-hmm. So it's not really the same thing. But the farmers in southern Iran are no different than the rest of the people.
Yeah, in general, if you're asking about these group of people in Iran, those groups of people in Iran, those groups of Indian people, what are their views about the Islamic Republic? It's always against the Islamic Republic unless the group you're referring to is like Basiji group or any other groups like IRGC, Basiji, any other group of people inside Iran with any categorization, you could be sure that they're against the Islamic Republic. They're against the regime. Yes. And thank you for your support.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you for joining. Armin, what's the topic of your discussion group today?
China.
China's on everyone's minds right now.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to be taking China.
All right.
All right.
Well, guys, thank you, everyone, for joining for today's episode of Iran Revolution Live. And we'll see you guys later on both Armin's channel and on mine.
Yep. See you guys soon. And I'm Israel Chai. Long live America.
God bless America.
Javicha. پاینده ایران.
غرق انقلاب است.
کشور ما تاریخ ما ترسید گر فرا گرفته گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ رنج و تشویش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش هن ای پدر هن ای پسر برخیز و باماش و هنگام تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در آب بگذار هر دم بغرند گرگ‌ها دم لباس میش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ای کارگر ای برزگر راحت کنون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش خلقا به پا بهر دفاع از استقلال و آزادی تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ویران آبادی تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های ملی از من آلین و کیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش
با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو و انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم
نه خارجی نه بیگانه نه مستشارهای ویرانی نه چیر خاران نه کاسه لیسان فقط هم رزمان ایرانی تا با شرافت میهنی بسازی بهر فرزندان خویش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش مردم بیایید داخل صف ما اکنون که آغاز رویاست دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم بعد از ما هم ایران پابرجاست آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش ایران غرق انقلاب است به پیش به پیش به پیش پرچم ما پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان روی شانه هامان حمل میکنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان تا ماسک دلقکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش